Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. This is Dan here with Big Cass. Cass, brother, it's the biggest episode of the year. It's the game. But first, real quick business to attend to. We did go to Indiana on Saturday. We brought Blake. We saw our guy Jason from fan of the show and his buddy. They showed up. Your brother was there. Great. Honestly, one of the best games I've been to in a while, I think. Buckeye Nation showed out. It was just fun. It was a good game in the first half, and then we broke free in the second half, and it was just stadium loved every second of it. The Caleb Downs punt return touchdown changed my life. I think it changed yours too. And I'll never forget that memory of just when it happened. Me and Blake were in the nosebleed, so we saw it developing slowly.
We we saw my brother and I saw it develop from like because the touchdown went on the opposite side, so we saw the lanes open up right in front of our eyes.
It it was honestly just so it was just so amazing seeing a punt return touchdown in life. Like it just I'm like, is this
That's the
real?
first time I've ever seen one, to be honest with you.
I was I was on Blake's back. Once he made the spin move, I knew he was gone, and I literally jumped up in the stands behind us, and I'm on Blake's back, and I'm like, giddy up, like a whore. And Blake's never been to a game with me. Obviously, he had no idea what to expect. I literally had to apologize to him before in Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, you don't know what you're getting yourselves into. And then we FaceTimed you, and we were just like going nuts. It is the one
It's
week
been 10 years.
you did not predict the punt return touchdown this week out of all weeks. Oh man, can't make this up. Just incredible. Um,
No, it was a great game. The loudest crowd. I don't like I told you and Blake and everybody Saturday. I've been to a lot of games, and I've worked majority of them in the last 8 years. And I've been there for the Ohio State Penn State game 2017, and I don't know if it's because I was working the game, but that was the loudest game I've ever been to, and I think a lot of it had to do is because I was able to take it all in as a fan.
no, it was absolutely super loud. And it was honestly, I feel like all the chants were loud, like the OHIO. They got the stadium pulse out, and everyone it was awesome with the stadium pulse going. That was one of the coolest moments. And like obviously someone did a TikTok, but just being in the stands for that. Um, but we got to hand out some Buckeye leaves. Just a great performance overall from the team. I'm very pleased. Just a heck of a day. And also shout out Jason for bringing me the Bush Light right at the tailgate. That was clutch. I appreciate that, brother.
Well, I mean, I've already gotten three because I make the graphic. I've already gotten three right off the rip. Caleb Downs, Cody Simon, Will Howard. I mean, the way those three played, those are the three that stood out to me. Um, I got offense, defense, and special teams right there all in one.
So special teams. This man continuously wins this. It's been 3 straight weeks, not blocks, because Northwestern he didn't get like, but Caden Curry has a 3 game streak of just annihilating the punter, either a block or tackle him or like forcing a bad punt. It's insane. He's changing games. Caden Curry's my specialty, and he had 5 tackles on the day too. He had a great day, and
Yeah,
he was on the punt return touchdown too for Caleb Downs. And Lorenzo Styles also was on all those plays, by the way, too. I did notice that rewatching the
yeah,
film. There's a couple guys that stood out. If you rewatch the film, you're like, huh, every time there's a big play, it's like these core special team guys like Lorenzo Styles or Caden Curry, they're always on it, and they're not heroes, but they're making the plays. Like they're making the little
right,
plays.
right.
Um,
You'd think you'd block number 92 on film, but apparently nobody wants to block number 92 on film.
I wouldn't want to block number 92, to be honest. I don't. I yeah, no. That's one. He's a scary dude, bro. Uh, no, I'm serious. He's terrifying. I'm going with on offense, Emeka Abuka, 7 catches, 80 yards, a touchdown. Once again, number 2. I love you, man. Calms this offense down. We're down a score. Who do we rely to? It's number 2. He will come down with it. He will calm everyone down. That's Emeka is such a great leader for this team. I just want to emphasize that. Um, and then my last Buckeye leaf. Ooh, it's tough. I
You
think
need defense.
I gotta go defense here. Oh, we can't do Caleb.
I already did.
Yeah, I know we can't because we did Caleb. And I'm gonna go with Denzel Burke. Denzel Burke, I feel like they didn't even look his way once. I know he wasn't on big on the stat sheet, 2 tackles, but bro, they didn't look at him once. It felt like they were only trying to pick on Igbinosun. I think they might have completed one pass to on Burke's side for what, maybe 8, 9 yards. It wasn't a lot. That's what I recall. I mean, do you remember anything specifically for Burke?
No, not at all.
No, I mean he was locked down, and I thought it really showed. Um,
The last Buckeye leave goes to Buckeye Nation.
yes, yes,
We're gonna need you Saturday again.
it is. And I posted a hot take. I said to you and Blake, I'm like, I think it might be. I think the Indiana game might be the loudest game of the year in the shoe, and we are challenging you, Buckeye Nation. Be louder than you were last Saturday, because it was definitely a younger crowd. It felt like. I think this
Hey,
is
the old ladies next to me were cheering.
they were. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'm just challenging Buckeye Nation. You gotta be louder this Saturday. You gotta
Yep.
be louder.
Yep. So let's turn the page.
Let's turn it. I think Will Howard turned the page the quickest. I mean, him and Day are locked in. What Day said, losing to Michigan 3 years in a row, comparing that to like losing his father, that quote was insane. There's no way that could be true. But that's insane that he actually believes that. It's I think he's locked in. This is a different Ryan Day, and I think as long as he continues to play his Ryan Day style. What he does, the bully ball he will play when it's like Indiana, go when it's like, oh, I'm gonna go for it on 4th and 1. I don't care if I'm at the 50. You just need to keep doing that against Michigan. It's gonna work. We have the players. It's gonna work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with this game, everybody knows it's the game. Throw the records out, uh, everything out. Yes, that team up north is 6-5 right now, but there's 3 years of frustration and embarrassment that these seniors not with a chance to possibly win their first gold pants. They haven't worn a gold pants. They don't want to be the first set of seniors to never win a pair of gold pants. They came back for this reason. And I'm ready. I mean Jack Sawyer's ready. He came out after the game. He's like, I don't want to talk about Indiana. I want to talk about this team up north.
He walked into Indiana without any long sleeve on. He walked in a t-shirt that day.
Him and Luke Montgomery, man, that was hysterical.
That was funny.
But that's what these guys came back here for. That's what they came back for.
He did. Um, I just think, you know, Michigan's interesting. They can't throw the ball really. Davis Warren has gotten a little stronger, I think, throughout the season. Donovan Edwards, not very disappointing season, but he looks to redeem this. They have I think their best player is Mullings, the running back. I think he might go for 100 against us. He could be a problem, not gonna lie. Orgy, they're gonna use on some trickery, but I just want to say I think the pressure's off on Ohio State in this game. And the reason why is basically because the playoff spot's clinched at this
Yep.
point. The win over Indiana and Penn State, it's like 99 and a half. There's no way Ohio State doesn't make the playoff at this point. And the only way they would have to lose to 100-0 to Michigan.
They but they want to win a Big Ten championship too. So, and the only team that's right now, the team that's standing in their way is the team that's beat them 3 years in a row. And these guys want to beat I don't cuss a lot, but they want to beat their ass.
This is personal. It doesn't affect the Natty at all. And
No.
this is just personal, this game.
Yep.
This is a game where the pressure's off from the standpoint, like if you lose this game, you're not getting into the 14 playoff. No, you lose this game, you're going to be humiliated, and that's completely different than what they were used to.
And especially with Michigan players, going on Instagram Live and calling Ryan Day a bitch. Jermaine Matthews saw that, tweeted out, and said, I forget what he said. I know you sent it to me a couple of days ago, but
I think he said noted,
noted, yeah. And
which I love. And out of all the guys, it's Jermaine Matthews, the guy who hasn't played a ton
yeah,
this
because
year.
I sent you a message back that says personal foul targeting number 24. This play is for under further review.
I
After
I love
further after further review.
I love that it came from Jermaine Matthews though, because Jermaine Matthews, he did play a little more against Indiana. He actually made a couple tackles, played a lot actually.
I like what they're doing with them too.
I do too. No, they're playing him. They're using him perfectly. That's exactly how I wanted them to use him. But out of all, like him going to bat for Coach Day, and it's like out of all the players on this team, he probably has the biggest gripe. You could have argue he has the biggest gripe about playing time. That just shows his character, and it shows the determination of this team that like they don't care about stupid little things like how many snaps I'm getting in a game. Their focus is punishing that team up north.
Exactly, and here's what the team up north is going to try to do. They know how hot headed Davison Igbinosin is. They know how he is the most penalized corner in the country. Hell, even a couple years ago, G. Scott got a personal foul penalty. That team up north knows they cannot beat Ohio State in a football game. They're going to try anything in their power to cause issues. 2013's prime example. Ohio State, obviously the most talented team. We win by 1 point. Titus Powell saves the season. But Dontre Wilson, Slug, and Marcus Hall, all of them guys on a kickoff, random kickoff. A third string linebacker starts a bunch of crap for that team up north. And Dontre Wilson, a.k.a.
Dontrell.
Dontre Willis, just starts swinging. I feel that team up north, this is what they're going to try to do. Because guess what? Will Johnson's not suiting up. I know Sharon Moore says we would like to have him come back, but it's noted he is not coming back.
I have the quote from October. He said, Will has no plan of just shutting it down or anything like that. Will, if he could go out there, he would go out there in a heartbeat. I know that he'll be back out there at some point at this season. And it does look like Loveland. Another injury update real quick for Michigan. He said, we'll see if he's going to play. I think Colston's trending in a good direction. We'll get a better feel in the next couple of days. Same thing with Will. So we'll see. And he said that yesterday. So
I don't think Will's playing.
I don't think Will is. I think Loveland's going though. I think
Loveland's going to go.
Yeah, they need him.
How healthy is he? That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the last game of his college career, to be honest. I think for some of these guys, because they're not going to be playing in the Meineke Car Care Bowl or whatever, or the Duke's Mayo Bowl. They're not going to.
As I told my cousin, Alabama's going to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, they're not going to be playing in this.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I'd be shocked. So this is their last game. It means a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot of these guys would love nothing more to knock off Ohio State to legitimize their championship from last. Not legitimize in my eyes, but in their eyes, it's like, oh, if we beat them, it legitimizes all the cheating. Like you still cheated, and it should all be vacated.
Yeah,
and their messed up minds are like, oh, we beat them, and so therefore, it's
they
crazy.
still have Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, two studs. On defense.
Get ready to learn Carson Hinsman and Integra Shabola, buddy.
Here's the thing, and this is, I think, how Ohio State's going to approach this game. I think we're going to finally see Ohio State try to start fast in this game. I know we try to slow the game down, but Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant are pretty good. They have the advantage right now up front than Ohio State. Just not by a lot, though. Not by a lot. But who's that linebacker? Who's that DB for that team up north? Because I don't think they have anybody that can cover our receivers or tight ends. I think Ryan Day is going to come out and throw the ball to open up Trey and Quinshon this week because Will Howard is getting slighted big time. How is he in all these reports the
Disgusting.
number one quarterback in power rankings, number one quarterback in completion percentage, number 4 in passing efficiency, but yeah, he's not even up for the Davey O'Brien Award or anything. I mean, I know individual awards don't mean shit to Will Howard, but they mean a lot to Buckeye fans. Obviously we saw that today. Obviously, we do know that Jeremiah Smith's the best wide receiver in the country, but to win the fan vote and not even be a finalist, I don't like. The thing is, I didn't even want him. Like, he didn't have to win it, but be a finalist. That's just what bothers me.
I'll say this. It feels like they went. It's weird because they go off the numbers for every team except Ohio State. Like Ohio State, you got have the numbers and you get slighted like Will, but like Jeremiah, I recognize he doesn't have the numbers that the other guys have just because of the volume. Like the guy from San Jose State has gotten so much volume because he's their only weapon that like he's the leading receiver in the
How do you
nation.
think Marvin Harrison Jr. won last year?
Yeah, he got volume. I mean, so it's you gotta have volume. Like you gotta have good numbers.
But
Jeremiah, unfortunately, he's not even at the 1K mark. All the like Hunter. I'm not saying he's a better receiver than Jeremiah. I don't think anyone's debating that, but he's had statistically a better year. He's had over like I think like the 90 catches and over 1,000 yards, more touchdowns. Just from a receiver perspective, his
but
output has been
but
better.
I think going back to this game, I think that is what we're going to see in display is the Jeremiah Will Howard is going to exploit this team up north defense where Jeremiah Smith's going to prove he's the best the wide receiver in the country.
Yeah, and you can make the argument Jeremiah has been way more efficient. We've held him back. I agree with all that.
Well, last week, I mean, my brother and I watched it firsthand, and the safety was always cheating over. Like, yeah, it looked
Yeah.
like there was 1-on-1, but the
Yeah.
safety was always cheating over.
I saw Indiana, and Indiana did a really cool thing with this. They would put Jeremiah in like almost like a 1-1, 1-on-1, and then you would see the safety slide over last second, but then it opens everything up for like Emeka and everyone on the
Yep.
other side. So like
How do we think we converted on 3rd and 35 and 4th and 10?
yeah,
So
once they figured that out, I feel like it was easy money.
yeah. So how do you think the offensive approach for Ohio State's going to be? I already told you what I think. I think we're going to throw the ball to open up the Trey and Quinshon. Or do we do what we've been doing and just try to establish that run? Even if we do go 3-and-out, we rely on our great defense.
I think I think we're just gonna let Will cook. I think we're gonna give him the rock the first drive, and I think we're gonna maybe some QB runs in there. Not up the gut because I don't like up the gut with those tackles. I don't want Will getting hurt. I could see almost like a zone read or
But I also want to protect them because I think that team up north will try cheap shots. I mean, like I said, they're going to try anything in their power to get Ohio State off schedule.
I can see a speed option. I think that would work. A nice first play speed option to Trey. And
Yeah,
then after that, bring in Judkins. If it's second and five. So yeah, probably run. And then I
I
like
see it. Yeah,
I
I see it.
running it just lets us get after it too against them. It's more violent. Lets us get more frustration out. Do
Yeah, I
you
see it.
do you who do you think is most likely on this team? And I want to ask this question. Most likely on this team to get in a fight Saturday.
Davis and Igbenogson.
Yeah, okay. And we could honestly too, we could lose him. It's okay because Jermaine would just slide in. They don't really have any receive. Like I'm okay if like Davison and like Lorenzo they go in and just start.
Lorenzo's not. He's too defensive line for some reason. I think Caden Curry.
I see Kenyatta Jackson.
Yeah, defensively. if we stop Mullins and Donovan Edwards, it's a wrap. It is a wrap.
I could see
Um,
CJ Hicks maybe, or no, Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese, because
uh, def-
he's from Cleveland.
yeah, defensively, they have Mullins and Donovan Edwards. We know Colston Loveland is banged up. He probably, yeah, like we say, he's most likely going to play. But Davis Warren is not going to come into the shoe and beat Ohio State.
Some crazy stuff would have to happen. I mean, if Samaj Morgan burns our corners and like for like 200 yards and like two or three touchdowns somehow, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it, bro.
Davis Warren hasn't thrown a touchdown pass all season.
No, he has. He has.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, bro. No, he's not. I mean, he's not good. He's like he has six touchdowns, seven picks, and
John O'Corn.
negative 19 rushing. Yeah, he's literally John O'Connor. I mean, on the year, Michigan has 11 touchdown passes and 10 picks between three quarterbacks.
I just what is wrong? Like you said on Twitter, halfback pass, double reverses,
they
uh,
they're gonna do all that.
fake punts,
Yeah, they're gonna
fake
do.
field goal.
They're gonna go for it on every fourth down. If it's fourth and two or less, they do this. They've done this 3 straight years. They will literally just run up the gut, or they do some Mickey Mouse, you know, jump pass or like a toss over the top. Just like we just need to stay home. Just stay
Yep.
home.
Stay disciplined and stay home
Yeah.
and keep contained. But we also have one of the smartest players in America, Caleb Downs. We are blessed to have the two best players in America on our football team, Jeremiah Smith on offense and Caleb Downs on defense. Uh, again, I think Caleb Downs, this game wins him the Thorpe Award. And I think next week wins him the Thorpe Award as well. Um, he he's going to take over this game. I 100% believe. I also think Jack and JT. I don't think that team at North's tackles are going to be able to block them too, because you're going to see a different JTT and Jack Sawyer this week. I have that feeling. I really do.
I think Tyleek Williams and Ty Hamilton will play great. I think
Cody Simon's playing out of his mind.
Cody's gonna play great. So I think the whole defense should play great. There's no reason there's this whole defense is talented. Everyone's a great player, and even the guys who rotate in are fantastic. I I'm confident. I'm not concerned about this game. I think we're overthinking it. I think this team is, with the shoe behind them too. Um, it's not going to be close. I don't think Michigan realizes what they're in for.
I think they do. I think they do, and I think their fans do. The way their fans are so cocky, and the way they've been on Twitter and all kinds of stuff. And I I think they know what's coming. They're just afraid to admit it.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, it's going to be interesting to see. It's the game. I mean, you're talking Woody Hayes. When won this game, this 10-year war. Some 1994. We've had 95. Jamie Sumner came on here we before and talked about how that team up north team should have never beat that Ohio State team. The 96 team, that team up north team should have never beat the Ohio State team. Um, I would say 2022, that team up north team should not have been that beat that Ohio State team. It happens. We just got to stay focused, stay disciplined, play Buckeye football, and beat the brakes out of these guys. And
What's your score prediction?
like I said off air, and I've said here, I have 27-10. Here's but that 27-10 is not as close as you think. I think Ohio State does make a couple mistakes where everybody's like scratching their head. And I'm thinking maybe a 10-3 halftime score, and then the Buckeyes just come out in the second half and just lay the wood, and then that team up north gets a cheap touchdown at the end, kind of like Indiana did last week. It's gonna be tough. But I think our guys are going to win this game. But I also 100% believe that this can be a blowout. I 100% believe this can be a blowout. But I am going to go on the little conservative side, and I think the Buckeyes win 27-10.
I appreciate your caution. I got Buckeyes 42, Michigan 16. They'll get a field
Ooh, bringing
goal.
it back to 2015.
Well, yeah, close to the score. That was 42-13. I think Michigan they'll get a touchdown and then three field goals. I think they'll get because their kicker's fantastic and they're gonna try to take some points and stuff when they can. So I see a lot of field goals for them. So I got a touchdown and then three field goals. And then for Ohio State, strictly touchdowns, nothing else. So that's why I got 42. And we cover.
I It's the game. It is the game. It's rivalry week across college football. Um, Believe it or not, this rivalry week is not as good as years past. The Egg Bowl Friday night. That's usually a fun game.
It should be Thanksgiving. I don't like how it's Friday.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Friday.
That's gonna be fun.
Uh, Clemson, South Carolina on Saturday, high
That
noon.
should be fun.
Illinois, Northwestern,
Not fun.
USC, Notre Dame,
Could be interesting.
the Iron Bowl, Alabama,
Don't sleep on Auburn, man. They just beat A&M. It was a crazy game, actually. I watched that whole thing.
and Texas A&M, Texas, Purdue, Indiana. So those are the notable ones. Um, I don't know which ones to pick through. I mean, we can start slow and go with the Egg Bowl. I mean, it's a 26-point favorite. I'm not going to pick that one. That was too big of a. All these spreads suck, man.
What's the spread for Boise State, Oregon State?
19.
Give me the Beavers, man.
You're going to get the Beavers, the cover?
I'll take the Beavers. I don't sleep on that one.
I'm making Boise State.
I'm taking the Beavers, man. The Pac-2 champs.
Back to chance. The closest rivalry spread, and this one's kind of funny, is Tennessee at Vanderbilt.
Oh, what's the spread?
10.5. Tennessee is favored by 10 at Vandy. I like Tennessee.
I'll go Vandy here. That's gonna be a good game. That's the battle for Tennessee. That's actually that might be game of the week. Vandy, I just think they beat Bama, obviously. Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
beat Bama. It's at home. I think, 10's a lot there.
By the way, I lied. South Carolina, Clemson. Clemson's favored by 2.5 at Clemson. I'm taking the Gamecocks with the upset.
I'm gonna take Clemson here.
Wow, we've been different every single game the rivalry week.
We're go big or go home.
The Iron Bowl. Alabama's 11.5-point favorite against Auburn. I like the Auburn Tigers to cover. I think Alabama's in shambles right now.
I'm also gonna take Auburn to cover.
And then the big one besides the game, Texas A&M versus Texas. First time in a long time that this game is being played.
This is actually a massive game.
It is a massive game. Texas is a 5.5 point favorite. A&M is coming off a loss against Auburn. I like. I'm going A&M, but I like Texas to still win it. But I
I
think it's going to
A&M
be a field
too.
goal.
I like A&M too here.
I think it's going to be a field goal.
I like it. No, I agree. I like A&M in this situation.
I like the Longhorns to win by a field goal, like I said.
A couple games to keep your eye on. Um, for rivalry week, a special edition for Dan. Um, three games to keep an eye on. Now, if you want, if I think one of these three will be an upset. Syracuse over Miami. I think Q's could potentially win that. I think Washington could potentially beat Oregon because Oregon's kind of already they got everything kind of wrapped up. They're looking towards the Big Ten championship. Washington's just looking to cause chaos. This game doesn't mean much to Oregon. Doesn't mean much for seeding anyway. They can literally lose this. It doesn't matter to it. Like other than rivalry, it does not matter because if they win the Big Ten, they're still going to be a top four seed easily. So you gotta question the desire there. Um, and then this is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying this. Purdue versus Indiana. Historically, teams that play Ohio State the next week, and if they lose to Ohio State in like a big way, typically they're a little beaten up the next week. Purdue has literally played all the Giants this year, so they're not afraid. They're not good, but they're not afraid. And
It's a 28.5 point spread.
yes, and Indiana might just be assuming they're going to walk in there and work them.
It
Just
is at Indiana.
so, oh yeah, well, so just keep your eye on that one. Keep your eye on that one. That might be my upset pick of the week.
USC Notre Dame is a rivalry. I think Notre Dame's going to go out and cook them.
Yeah, yeah, no question.
Um, Georgia Tech, Georgia could be interesting. I still think Georgia wins.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
win.
Georgia's going to win the SEC.
It's ridiculous.
Illinois Northwestern at Northwestern.
I like Northwestern, man. I like the football they're playing. I know they just lost to Michigan. I like the football they played though the week before against Ohio State, which they lost to Michigan probably because they played Ohio State the week before and got,
How about the Paul Bunyan Zats? Minnesota and Wisconsin.
I like I like Minnesota. I like Minnesota, man. They're playing well too.
Um, Nebraska, Iowa. Um, that's
That
makeshift rivalry game.
that all my advice is just under. Whatever the under is, it could be 20 points. That's always the under game. It's the Black
Right.
Friday, hammer the under every
It's actually on Saturday this year.
is it Saturday? It was Black Friday last year, I'm pretty sure.
It usually is.
Yeah, it's weird. Right though. Well, we got a minute here. So
Wait,
thank
it is Friday. You are right.
yeah, it is that's the Black Friday game. Um
7:30 NBC.
I'll watch that. That'll be terrible, but I'm gonna watch it. We got about 30 seconds, so just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving real quick.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.
Go Bucks. If you're going to the game, be loud and beat that team up north.